Hey y'all, so it is April 25th and I'm out here planting a lot of flowers today, and I'm really excited about it because it's been cold kind of late here in central North Carolina, and I am happy to be sweating instead of cold. So I thought I would give you a quick little tour of one of my flower beds back here in the backyard so you can see what is growing on April 25th here in central North Carolina. So let me turn you around. Starting out right here, we have some chamomile, and you can see just getting ready to really start blooming. Lots of buds there. This is the Zloty Lan variety, I believe is how you say it. Has a little bit of a larger bloom. Isn't that gorgeous? And gosh, they smell so good. I can't wait to dry them all and use them for tea and salves. There's some Angel's Choir poppies down here. These, I believe, all my poppies that I have planted back here in this bed, except for the one random little volunteer of a California poppy that I had come back from last year, are this Angel's Choir variety. I've got some Strawflowers growing and doing well already, which I'm excited about. Last year I waited a little too late to start the Strawflowers, and I never wound up getting any blooms, so this year I should get some blooms. Very excited about that. You can see back in the back some zinnias popping up and going. I say popping up, but I started this round of zinnias inside because last year something, maybe mice, maybe bunnies, as soon as they would pop up, would get eaten right away. So I started some inside to give them a bit of a head start. So we'll see how they do. There's a whole bunch of different varieties planted back here. Queen Lime Orange, I know, is back here. A variety called Sombrero, I believe. A variety called Envy, which is a pretty green zinnia. Prince Purple, I believe, is one of the varieties. There's several back here. I'll have to go in and look at my list, and I'll make note of what varieties I have planted back here. Some more chamomile. These Snapdragons, I just love the color of the foliage on these. They all came back as volunteers from last year. The variety is called Tequila Sunrise, and you can see they're very close to blooming. So these I didn't even plant, they're all volunteers, and I planted them last year, but nothing this year, and they are looking great. These Snapdragons I started from seed this year, and they're not quite as far along as the ones that came back. And I think this next year I'm going to fall sow my Snapdragons. So here's some Gomphrena that I started this year. It's got a really neat texture. You can hear it. Kind of like a straw flower. These are supposed to be really good at branching out on their own without needing to be pinched back, which you can see they are starting to do, so I'm excited about that. These sweet peas back here are not as far along as the sweet peas I have over in an area that gets a lot more sun. This area, you can see it's shaded right now, gets some midday shade. It doesn't stay full sun all day, so some things take a little longer to get going in this bed, but generally still do pretty well, because I would say they get at least 6 to 7 hours of full sun a day, especially as the sun gets more directly overhead as the summer goes along. It gets even more sunshine. So this is just a chrysanthemum that came back from planting in the fall. I had a couple that I saved from a graveyard, I believe at Lowe's. They were getting ready to chunk them, so had them marked way down. Just grabbed a bunch, and I think all but one have come back very nicely, so looking nice and healthy. Here's some calendula. He's getting ready. He's got his first blossom or buds there, getting ready to bloom. I planted back here some saved seeds from a variety I planted last year, and then I also planted a strawberry variety, so it's got the pinkish flowers, which I really love. And cosmos and zinnias back there as well, another straw flower. This is a Peony Duchess apricot aster, and I'm really looking forward to the blooms. I hope they look like the seed packet says they'll look, like it said online, because they'll be gorgeous. So hoping to see that bloom this year. I'll give y'all an update. Poppies. Once again, it's that Angel's Choir mix. More calendula. This is a Gardenia, and I'm not quite certain. I need to look up. He got a little leggy, you can see, before planting, and I think since I just transplanted him out, I should snip off that first bud. So I gotta look up a little bit more about that. You can see more zinnias and cosmos, calendula, some more gomphrena, some more poppies. There's my little California poppy that popped up. Another mum that I rescued. Nice weed here. Let's get him out of there. And then cosmos, more of these tequila sunrise snapdragons, which are so beautiful, and I love the color of the leaves. I just absolutely love them, and when they bloom, they're like it looks like a tequila sunrise. It's got that yellow, orange, pink that all fade into each other. More poppies, more sweet peas. There's a coleus back there that I just planted out yesterday, the day before. It's all running together. Hoping and there's a plant tag that I missed. Hoping he does all right with these couple 40-degree nights that we have coming up. There is see, the sun is starting to come back out. There is a lavender plant that I started from seed last year, and it's looking really healthy. And this is some feverfew. Can you see that? It's huge. I'm pretty sure I'm going to need to divide that after this year. Should be getting some blooms from that before long. Some violas and pansies just left over from the fall flowers. This is a massive. I can't even step back far enough for you to see it all. I started this Yarrow from seed last year, and he has just really taken off and made lots of babies, and now I have a whole Yarrow corner. So you can see buds there getting ready to bloom, and then hiding in the middle of him is a coneflower. So yeah, definitely going to have to do a little dividing here. And there's another nice weed growing back there. I need to pull out. Definitely going to have to do some dividing on the Yarrow at some point, maybe next spring. If we round the corner here, got a Spirea that is done blooming for the year. And then this area stays much more shaded, and so I just took all my pansies and violas that I had and stuck them back here, and we're going to see how long they last, because I've had them last almost all summer, but sometimes till the fall, so we'll see if I can keep getting some blooms from them. And this coleus back here, he doesn't have much of different pigmentation. Stuck him back here to see how he does. You can see the clematis blooming back there. There's also a purple vine. These were in the yard when we purchased the house, so I'm not sure exactly what variety they are, but they've been moved several times and continue to grow. So this is the first year that they haven't been moved for a whole year. So I'm finally getting some earlier blooms on them than I have in the past. Little Oxalis clumps here. I just love these guys. Little shamrocks, Oxalis. They are just fun little mounding. There's another mound of them. Plants, and they just give you those bright little pink flowers. There's another version back there. This was actually a house plant one. I mean, it's not technically a house plant, but that's the way it was purchased. And it was kept indoors for a while, and a couple years ago I just stuck him in the ground back here, and here he grows every year. More of the little violas. There's another clump of yarrow. We'll see if this guy gets as big as the others. There's a hosta back there. You see that baby hosta that I plucked out of the woods and transplanted up here a couple weeks ago. It's my limelight hydrangea. I love the limelight. He's looking really beautiful this year. There's a purple variety of the shamrock, and I wish I had planted him farther up front. I might have to move him at some point. These are all knockout roses. You can see they're getting ready to bloom, and this is not really the ideal location for them. They get a lot more shade over here than they probably should, but they have adapted and they bloom and they do well, and they fill up this area with gorgeous pink blooms that otherwise I don't think I would get over here in this shady zone. So that's pretty much the end of this bed. Oh well, there's my giant autumn beauty gardenia that really should have been pruned after blooming last year, and I never got around to it, and so I need to make sure I do that this year after he blooms. But you can see his new growth and his buds are forming. So after blooming this year, I really need to get on him. So thanks for watching. That's what's growing in this one bed back here in Central North Carolina, Zone 7B, on April 25th, 2022.